Hello family, friends, and potential friends. I'm starting out back here in the shade in the mini orchard as a special favor to my little sister. A few years ago, she kind of prompted me to try growing loquats from seeds, and I wanted to show her the results. I did comment the other day that I had one plant that was about 6 foot tall, and I think I was just a little bit wrong. I'm 6'4", and this is one of the loquats that I grew from seed. As you can see, it's a bit over 6 foot. Seems to be pretty happy and growing pretty strong, though it is still under the shade of this big oak tree here. But anyway, that's my first loquat that I grew from seeds. I do have another one over in the yard next door that I'm not going to walk over there. And the rest of them I gave away, and I think I lost 1 or 2 of them. But anyway, that's my loquat. And while we're back here in the mini orchard, might as well take a look at everything else going on. Still have my old original Ponderosa Lemon hiding under the oak tree. Have I ever shown you the oak tree from this position? That's my big oak. One of them. Shades out this whole corner of the yard and grows lots of moss too. If anybody needs any moss, just let me know. But right now it's all about plants. This old Ponderosa Lemon has been back here since I bought the place 30 years ago. And it's still giving me fruit. Now, for reference, today is Saturday, October 30th, 2021. And it's fall, at least in Central Florida. Temperature last night went down to about 57 degrees, which by our standards, that's cold. Yeah, I know a lot of people are laughing at me right now, but I'm a Florida boy, and my blood starts slowing down when it goes below 60. I may even have to get out a long sleeve t-shirt before long if this keeps up. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's just made it up past 65. So I figured it was warm enough for me to get out here and do a little bit of filming. There's the Meyer Lemon that I grew from seed. Oh, I guess it's been 3, maybe 4 years ago now. It's still doing pretty good. And I got a papaya back here in the corner that my buddy planted a couple years ago. It's not growing real fast because it doesn't get a whole lot of sunlight. But I do have others that are growing fairly well. This one's in the shade most of the time also. And there's a butternut squash I planted just recently. I figured I'd try growing squash in the winter. I can't grow them in the summer because of the powdery mildew, but now supposedly we're in our dry season, so maybe I can get them to grow in the winter. The guava that I bought at Lowe's a while back, still growing nicely. Oh look, we still have a few pollinators around too. Let's see, my Florida avocado. Now that one's getting up close to 6 feet tall, branching out nicely. I need to clear some of this stuff out around it so it can get a little bit more sunlight. I still have a few jalapeno peppers back here that still have some peppers on them. The gardenia still doing pretty good. And let's see, there's one of my pomegranates, and that one is growing pretty good too. I just took the cage off of it the other day. And then this is the papaya that was buried under the debris pile. It's happy since I got it out from under there. Even trying to give me a little bit of fruit. And these ones I can actually reach. But like the big one, they kind of grow for a while and then they fall off. The red bud is still hanging in there. And let's see, there's one of my fig trees. And then over here is my pride and joy, the big papaya. Still producing fruit up there. I may have to get a ladder if any of those actually ripen. But so far they get to be about 4 to 5 inches long, and then they fall off. And every one that I've cut open so far has had rot or worms on the inside. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Oh, there's my gardening buddy. Wants attention, as usual. Yeah, licorice. Yeah. Okay, keep those claws to yourself. Okay, what else we got back here? Oh, there's a squash that I planted a few months ago. It's produced a few male blossoms, but no females yet. And there is still another fig tree hiding back here in the shade. Not growing very much, but it's had a rough life. Sugar cane. As I keep saying, I need to move that. It's been in that spot for about 4 years now, and it's not producing a whole lot of canes this year. So I may have to chop down what it did produce, find someplace else to plant them. There's the Ponderosa Lemon that I grew from seed. Gets a lot more sunlight out here. Hopefully it'll do a lot better than the original. And these ones, I believe this is a, what is this, an acorn squash? Or, let me see, spaghetti squash. And so far it's looking pretty healthy. I might have finally figured out when I'm supposed to plant squash. Let's see, the other pomegranate, fighting it out with these vines. And it gets too much shade back here also. Same thing with my blueberry bush. There's too much shade back here. And the Moringa. That one's well over 6 feet tall. And it's getting pretty close to time for me to top it. I'm going to see if I can get a cutting or two to grow. And one last bell pepper back here in the corner. Still trying to produce peppers. The end of October. I don't know, folks. These plants don't know what to think. I see I missed my mulberry. But the mulberry is still growing. Still hanging in there. And there's my future hugelkultur. So let's see, walk up towards the front a little bit and see what else we got going. Let's see, this is where I usually start off. There's my patience garden bed. As you can see, the asparagus is still growing pretty good. I did plant a little bit of rosemary around in the corners. In fact, I planted a bunch of rosemary out here in various places because I get a lot of rosemary. Sweet potatoes are still growing. I'll be digging those probably within the next week. And as you can see back behind there, I've already pretty much dismantled that center bed. I've got one of the pineapples moved into a container here, and the other two still have to be moved. I've also been moving the rosemary out of this bed and putting it in those containers over there. Now my hot peppers, they just keep on producing. They do not want to stop. These are the lemon drops. And I'm still getting a few peppers off of them. Oh, every 2 or 3 days I'll get 4 or 5 peppers. These are red habaneros. And there's one over there on the other side that's starting to ripen up. And then the puzajawalas. These things have still got peppers hanging all over them. And I get a handful of them every day too. In fact, they're still putting out, oh, there's a stink bug. Ooh, we just started getting those stink bugs this year, and they seem to like my hot peppers. But the puzajawalas still putting on blossoms. Just doesn't want to quit. And my orange and my peach habaneros. I've been picking a few of them recently. Oh, there's a peach over there on the far side, almost ripe. I might tack on a few pictures at the end of this video to show you what my harvest's been like this last week. I get a few things every day and just gather them up about once a week. I'll go through and chop them up and put them in the freezer or whatever I'm going to do with them. Let's see, there's my elderberry. kind of leaning like it's trying to get out of the shape a little bit. I'm not sure if that's going to be the best spot for it. And this is red Marconi Peppers, still trying to produce. And I started planting out this bed with some cool weather crops. Again, I put some more rosemary in the corners. And across the front here, I've got a few purple Vienna kohlrabi. Now, I've never eaten kohlrabi, so I planted these ones just to see if I like them. And back behind them, that next row is 4 plants of Black Beauty eggplant. Haven't grown eggplant before either, but I remember fried eggplant when I was a kid, and so I'm going to see about recreating that memory. I'm not sure what I'm going to put at the back end there. This bed, I've got about half of it topped up with soil from the other raised beds, and I've still got a number of datil peppers growing in here, a couple of them from last year. And I planted 6 Varsky peppers in here that I grew in the green stalk last year. I also removed a number of the aloes that we're trying to spread out in here. They're over here in containers now. And what else we got going on? Oh, there's the mango experiment. That one's getting some black around the edges of the leaves. I think it's probably time to put those in bigger containers. This one in the middle is the one that had to find its own way out of the husk, and it seems to be the healthiest of the 3. So I'm kind of leaning towards leaving the seeds in the husk from here on out. The pineapple plantation is still doing well, still has weeds in it, though I did pull a bunch of them out the other day. And I put together this other green stalk, although I haven't planted anything in it yet. Not sure just what I'm going to do with it. I think I do have room out on the front porch for one more. Peppermint's doing good. That one lone okra still doing fairly good. And my ginger jungle starting to fade back a little bit here and there. I'll probably be harvesting ginger before too long. It does still have that flower on it and a few more buried in there. So I'll probably be harvesting ginger and turmeric pretty soon. But that's going to have to wait till after the sweet potatoes. They have to go first. Since I've already discussed the secret strawberry experiment, we'll take a look at them first. They're growing pretty good. All of them are showing signs of growth. So I think they might actually work out. And speaking of signs of growth, I'm going to have a bunch of radishes. And those are growing well. And over in the other green stalk, my salad tower, what I was afraid of is starting to happen. Some of this Asian lettuce, or cabbage, Napa cabbage, or whatever, is starting to bolt already. I was worried about that. It was still pretty warm when I planted those. Looks like that's the only one bolting. I may have to replace that before long. But all the other lettuce seeds and things like that I planted in here, they're all popping up. These are the, which ones? These are another cabbage. Oh, Golden Acre or Green Acres, whatever the name is. And then that's what did I plant in there? Oh, bok choy. That's right, bok choy. So I may have some salads before too long. And this one I may have to dig that out and replace it, because it's already bolted. That's just a quick look at everything. Starting to show more of the winter garden. Well, before I close out, I'll show you a quick look in the lab. Got a bunch of red brandywine tomatoes back there in the corner. Those are getting close to ready to go into bigger pots and go outside. Still have a few other tomatoes that need to be separated out, but I've got tomatoes all over the place that I did separate out. This is some more Black Beauty eggplant. I believe this is another Green Acre or Golden Acre. Golden Acre cabbage. Got one left in here. And then this is some more Napa cabbage. So I've got replacements for that one that bolted up front. I've got 4 collards. Those are the cabbage collards I got from my buddy Chris. And then some kale. Those will be going out into one of the raised beds pretty soon, as soon as I get it filled up with soil. Got a bunch of onions, more kohlrabi back there in the back, a little bit of rosemary still left in here, and then the rest of the tomatoes that I've already separated out. So now I guess I'll put that set of clips in showing my harvest over the last week. And I'll see you on the next video.